Cine Premiere of Mexico, take one. Sergio, anytime you're ready.
The 70s and the 80s has an amazing titles of horror, since The Exorcist, since Evil Dead with Sam Raimi, and of course your titles The Fog, The Thing, and Halloween. Why do you think these 2 decades has that?
I don't know. It's a really good question. I thought originally that 60s and 70s, if you start with modern horror, kind of began in 1968 with Night of the Living Dead, I think, and then continued. And I always thought it was Vietnam. That kind of brought it home to us. But I'm not so sure now. I think horror is always with us in the movies, always. But each generation comes along and reinvents it for their time with the society that they live in. And so horror is all constantly being reinvented. So 70s and 80s, there you go.
The first Halloween, we barely knew about Michael Myers. We only saw it as a kid, and that's it. Later on, with this assassin, this killer. Do you think that is the thing that we need in a horror film, to less information about a character, or do we need to know more?
It depends. There's no rule. And in Halloween, that was by design. That's what I wanted to do with a character. But Rob Zombie did a version of Halloween where you knew a lot about Michael Myers. He was a full character, so it depends.
The low-budget movie, do you think the horror genre needs to be a low-budget movie? It's like the essence of the genre?
No, it can be high budget. I think all of the directors would prefer it because it's easier, somewhat easier, but that low-budget, high-return is what producers in Hollywood want.
I was talking to you about the score of the movie. You know? You did several films, scored several films, but how was to go back to this, to score this movie, going through all of your filmography?
It was fun. I'm working with my son and godson, which is great fun to do. And we revisited the original Halloween. There was 5 or 6 themes throughout the movie, and I used them in various places. So we took those themes and we refurbished them with new sounds, because the computers nowadays are unbelievable. But we added some new music too. So there's new themes. It's a combination of the old and the new.
You mentioned before that these generations has something that's changed in the ways that we of the filmmakers do horror. Do you think that 9/11 is the last thing that changed us?
No, I think a constant. And it's subtle things. It's the way society's moving. It's who's our president, what's he stand for, what's the country stand for. It's all the mores of society and how they change. So it's complex.